Jinkies! Welcome to another episode of the Unmasked History of Scooby Doo, the podcast where we delve into the mystery of Scooby Doo media, getting clues from people who helped bring our favorite mystery solving dog to life on various platforms, and maybe eating some Scooby snacks along the way. I'm your host, Alexa Lawler.
Scooby Doo, where are you?
And it would have been mine if it hadn't been for those meddling kids.
Gang, we've just been handed our next mystery.
Blasted meddling kids.
On today's episode, I chatted with Slade Echeverria from Anarbor. You may recognize Anarbor from their version of What's New Scooby Doo, which was used for the 2009 live-action movie Scooby Doo: The Mystery Begins. Also, before we start, I have some exciting news. The Unmasked History of Scooby Doo is now available wherever you like to listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, Stitcher, and TuneIn. But I'm super excited about this episode, so let's get right to the interview. Hey Slade, thanks for being on the show today.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super stoked to be here. Super stoked.
Of course. So if you're game, I'd like to start off with a quick 3-question trivia game.
Cool, let's do it.
Question 1, in Scooby Doo: The Mystery Begins, how does Scooby meet Shaggy? And I have some options for you here. A, Shaggy adopts Scooby at a pet fair. B, Scooby crashes through Shaggy's window after seeing a ghost. Or C, Shaggy finds Scooby in a box on the side of the road.
I'm gonna go with B. Crashes through the window.
That is correct.
Yeah, hell yeah. Love it.
Question 2, You and I, by Anarbor, obviously,
Yeah.
is played in what sequence during The Mystery Begins? A, the chase scene. B, the Shaggy and Scooby friendship sequence. C, in the credits. D, both the chase scene and the credits. Or E, both the friendship sequence and the credits.
Oh man, this is gonna be okay. I know. I think it's just the credits.
No, it's E, both the Shaggy and Scooby friendship sequence and
Really?
in the
Okay,
credits.
that's so awesome. Right on. I love that. See, I was like, I knew that I was in the credits, but I did not know. We wrote the song for like a love scene, so like I guess that makes a lot of sense. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
And last question for the trivia game. True or false, the Ann Arbor version of What's New Scooby Doo has also been used in trailers for Scooby Doo animated movies.
False.
It's true.
What?
Yeah, it's been
Are
used
you
for a
serious?
lot.
Oh my god, I had no idea. How are you finding all this stuff?
I have the DVDs for all of them, and so watching like various ones, there's trailers, so it's played in the trailer for Big Top Scooby Doo, Stage Fright, the WWE one, Frank and Creepy, Moon Monster Madness. It's in a bunch of them.
Yes, I love it. Wow, that's so cool. Wow, you're filling me on this. I had no idea. That's awesome. I have a 3-year-old and she's been like just getting into Scooby Doo and we watch What's New Scooby Doo and they have the Simple Plan version of our song. Yeah, and I'm always like, "Oh, your dad did a cool version of this song." And she's like, "Ah." It's just really funny because I hear the Simple Plan version all the time, so it's really cool. Yeah.
And so to kick off the actual questions, what's your relationship to Scooby Doo? Did you grow up watching or did you not really have an interest in it?
Oh yeah. So I grew up watching like the original Scooby Doo cartoons, like the classic ones that had the original song, Scooby Dooby Doo, where are you? You know that one?
Yeah.
That was like what I grew up to, and then like the Scrappy Doo and like the little guy came along when they were a younger version. But I totally grew up on Scooby Doo. I love it.
What's your favorite memory of Scooby Doo? Is it watching it with your kid now, or is it when you were watching it growing up?
I honestly think while I was growing up, I mean, I'm gonna build all these memories with my child, but as for now, when I was little, man, Scooby Doo was kind of scary because they also had that humor to it, but it was also like there was like suspense and a little bit of scariness to it. So I remember being scared watching it with my mom. Um, and I mean, she was never a big fan because cartoon, but I always loved it. Yeah, that's definitely my earliest memory, just being scared. My first like memories of being really scared.
Definitely. How did the opportunity come up for you guys to be part of Scooby Doo: The Mystery Begins?
So funny story, we had just signed to Hopeless Records, and the Cartoon Network was looking for a band to do like the next Scooby Doo thing. And Hopeless Records didn't really throw our name out there. They were just like, here's our roster, here's what you're working with. Do any of these bands catch your ear? And basically, they were like, we really like this band. It happened to be Anarbor, and we were so we didn't even go to college. We signed right out of high school. So in all honesty, we really didn't comprehend what was going on until after it happened, kind of. So they called us on. They're like, "Hey guys, you want to be a part of the Scooby Doo? Like, the saga, basically, like this whole I don't even know what you want to call it, legacy of Scooby Doo. You guys can be a part of it." And we absolutely jumped on it. So it came down to Hopeless asking us because Cartoon Network was looking for a band to work with, and they just happened to pick us. They liked our vibe, which thank God.
That's awesome.
We lucked out. Honestly, it's such a great opportunity. Yeah.
And so had you ever had your music featured in a movie before then at all?
Um, uh, let's see. So we did a lot of like Jersey Shore stuff and like MTV stuff, but when it came to like a kids television show like Scooby Doo and like Nickelodeon, anything like that, no, we had never done anything like that big. So when we got this opportunity, it was like we had to do it. I remember when I told my mom, she was like, "Oh my God, Scooby Doo! You love that as a child, you know?" It was such a cool. It's definitely a milestone for me in my life, to be a part of that legacy. It's so cool.
What was your experience doing it?
So basically, I mean, so like I said, they asked us to do it. We kind of signed on. We're like, yeah, sure, let's do the Scooby Doo stuff. Like a week went by. We drove. We're from Phoenix, Arizona, so we had to drive to LA. We met up in the Cartoon Network headquarters, and they were like, let's meet the whole band. They kind of like sized us up, looked at how we dressed, and the kind of vibe that we were giving off. They had a whole other closet for us in another room. They're kind of like, okay, so we want to do a music video, you guys. We want you guys to write a song. That's like what's the song? It's by a band called the Turtles. I think it's I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. They were like, we want you guys to write a song like this. So we signed on. We're like, yeah, sure, great. Give us like a couple weeks. We went home, wrote the song in our guitarist's like closet because at the time I know we were like just out of high school. We were living just by paycheck to paycheck. We didn't really have much going on. So we met up in his closet, wrote this song, um, and we pitched it to him. We're like, this is great. We love it. Went to the studio, recorded it, and then they were like, we also want you guys to do the Simple Plan version of What's New Scooby Doo. And we had never heard the song. I actually had never even heard of the series What's New Scooby Doo. So we checked it out, like easy. Went to our producer. He was like, "Great, you guys are gonna kill this." We kind of put our own spin on it, which is really really cool. But once we got that done, then they wanted to make a music video for "You and I," which was like the kind of turtle version of "I Can't See Me Loving Nobody But You," which is kind of like a friendships type of song, like a feel good song, like about you and your best friend type of thing, or somebody that you loved. And we were like, "Yeah, sure." So they were like, let's get you guys in a music video." I remember I think we were on tour and we happened to go through LA that day. And so they planned it like early in the morning. So we went to this like, it was like in Warner Brothers, like this crazy beat up warehouse that was like for movies and stuff, right? Really, really cool. They were like, yeah, what kind of the videos that Sex on Fire by Kings Leon was actually filmed in the um, same like warehouse that we did the You and I video, which was really cool. But anyways, when we showed up, they were like had this like whole makeup set and like breakfast. This guy was making omelets for us, had a whole bunch of fruit cut up. There's like a bunch of people on the set. Like you got to understand, we're coming from hometown kids in a garage in like Phoenix, Arizona. So this is like big time for us. We were like, wow, this is like really fucking cool. We have all these people kind of waiting on us hand and foot for this like music video. It was super awesome. So it was definitely an experience that we had never been a part of before, that it was like the real deal. Like they were putting spray makeup on me, which I had never, come across before, which is totally new to me. So that was like super cool. Um, and yeah, they did part by part. They gave us all these like, like these costumes that were part of the video. And they told us like the outline of the video and like how everything was gonna go, but we really didn't know how it was gonna turn out. But by the end of it, I think we were all really happy. And still that's one of our top songs that we have right now is You and I. So love Scooby Doo for that. I cannot bashing them. I love it. It's great.
So had you had You and I written before the movie, or was it specifically written for Scooby Doo?
So when they came to us, we were in the middle of writing a record actually, and they hit us at a great spot because I think Hopeless Records knew that we were writing a record. So like, yo, maybe we can throw this on the record too. It'll be like a movie motion picture type thing. But we wrote the song for the movie, not knowing that it was going to be on the record. So we just wrote it for the movie,
Okay,
and yeah, it was doing so well that we were like, let's just put it on the record, and that's what we did.
awesome. Because I was having trouble like trying to work out the dates between like the Free Your Mind EP versus the album versus Scooby Doo.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, honestly, that song would not be written if it wasn't for them to come to us and be like, "Hey, can you write a song about best friends?" And that's why we wrote it. So that song wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for them.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
And what's the difference between recording an album specifically for the band and then recording a song for a movie? Do you have a lot more voices telling you what to do, or?
Yeah. So like opposed to like writing a song just for the band rather than for like a movie like that. I mean, when it comes to just writing for the band, I get to put my personal experiences into it and like kind of more nitty-gritty stuff a part of my life that maybe you wouldn't wanna hear in, like, a movie song, but, I mean, then again, it just comes to the writer, so when it came to the song about Scooby Doo, it was like, "Okay, so now we have a topic to write about, we have an outline that we want, this is what the movie's about kind of type of thing, and this is what the part that we're writing the song for is about." So we kinda had an idea before we went into it about what the song, was gonna be about, as opposed to me kind of just writing on the fly about maybe what happens to me in my life, um, as day by day goes. It was kind of like definitely about, my friends in my life and, about my best friend or whatever, but it's also, it's just more structured, I suppose, rather than just, writing on the fly and out of your head.
Before the movie came out, did you get to see it and where your music would be featured?
They did, they actually didn't let us see the movie when it came out, but they sent us like 5 or 6 copies when it came out, and, yeah, we all watched it. It's great, great movie, we all love it. I haven't seen it in a long time, so it's been a minute, but I probably should watch it now that I have my daughter with me, so
Do you still have those, or at least one copy?
I personally that's a great question. I don't have a copy of it actually. I know that we had a couple copies they sent to us that we had to sign and then send back, but we didn't get to keep any of those. And I know that they only sent us a handful, so I actually didn't get a copy. If I watch it, I'll probably just rent it off iTunes or something.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It would be cool if they just send us like unlimited versions of the movie.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That'd be tight, right?
And what was it like to be able to hear your music playing in a movie?
Oh my gosh, it was so cool. Like I remember the first time that I actually heard it was in a movie theater. Like so when credits, not credits, when like previews started becoming, more live action rather than just like pictures. I don't know if you how old you are, but back in the day, credits weren't like moving pictures. They were just like, pictures of like the movie coming out and then it would skip to the next one. But I remember for the first time seeing ours was in a movie theater and it was just a song playing in the background of like it wasn't necessarily like a trailer, but I think they might have had like a playlist on in the movie theater of like Harkins or whatever AMC, and that just happened to be part of the actual like their playlist. So we lucked out on that too. They somehow threw our song in like a playlist of Harkins or AMC, and that's when I had people text me like, "Oh my god, your song is like playing at the movies," and I'm like, I mean, I know it's in a movie, but it's not playing at the movies. And then I finally heard it myself, and I was like, "Oh shit, they have us like in a playlist." That's part of it. I don't know. It was really, really, really cool. Definitely didn't seem real. I had to pinch myself, but that's definitely an achievement for sure. Like I said, it's a staple in my book. I'll never forget it. It's cool.
Were you happy that you were asked to do the What's New Scooby Doo theme song specifically, or would you have liked a choice as to do, like maybe the original Where Are You theme?
Yeah, I'll be honest. When we got the pitch, I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "So you're telling me that we get to redo the Scooby Dooby Doo, where the original, Scooby Doo song?" And they're like, "No. So Simple Plan did this version. You guys get to cover it." And we're like, "Oh, that's so cool, but it'd be so much cooler if we could do the other version. You know, in my head, I had like so many ideas for the Scooby Doo song, but I was definitely a little bit bummed. I'll be honest. I was definitely a little bit bummed that we didn't do the original. However, I'm absolutely grateful that we got to do anything that happens that has Scooby Doo in it. So I can't be that upset about it. But I was a little bit bummed. I'll be honest, a little bit
Definitely.
bummed.
Um, and did you know that they would be using that version ultimately to recreate, a mix between the Scooby-Doo Where Are You opening and the What's New Scooby-Doo opening?
No, they didn't. They didn't say anything to us. They just kind of like were, "Hey, what do you guys look like? Okay, let's get you guys in some clothes. Okay, let's make a music video." They never said if it was gonna be in the movie or not. They never, like, gave us a thumbs up, like, "Yeah, you guys did it," It wasn't anything like that. It was just like, "Okay, thanks." And then we kinda just waited, and then eventually we got some CDs sent to us and some DVDs, and that's kinda how it worked. We gotta paid a flat fee for it, but we still get royalties for the song, which is great. But yeah, it was definitely a weird experience, but really, really cool. Really cool.
And what was the recording specifically like?
So we recorded a song with Mike Green. Mike Green did like the early Paramore stuff. So this guy is like super awesome, really, really great. Honestly, like a musical genius. He helped us out a lot in the cover. The cover was more it was more old school. So when Simple Plan did it, it was more just like kind of root notes, no lead lines. Just kind of Pierre just kind of went through and sang the track, and that was it. So we tried to spice it up a little bit more, and Mike Green definitely helped us out with that. He definitely engineered it and like had ideas for parts and like just to kind of spice it up a little bit because we had to make it a little bit different from theirs, right? So it was great. It was a lot of fun recording that track actually. And I always try to think of like me in the booth when I was singing that song, like where I was in my life and like just everything. It's cool to think about. It's like a flashback.
Can you elaborate more on what specifically you did to make your version Ann Arbor and not just, doing an exact cover?
Yeah, so Simple Plan's version is basically like the simplest that it could be, right? So you have like the drums going, you have the guitar, and then you have a bass kind of just filling it out and Pierre singing over the top. We added a bunch of lead lines. We added some drum. We made it into swing. So instead of like straight 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like a swing. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So it's an actual swing version of the song, which is really cool. And that's kind of Ann Arbor styles to make it more swing, more rock. So we definitely added more rock elements to it and made it more swing, which is really cool.
And you mentioned that you had never heard the Simple Plan version originally, but, have you met the Simple Plan guys? Are you close with them? Have you talked about being on Scooby at all?
You know what? We did a tour in Australia with them. We did the Australian Warp Tour, but the schedules unfortunately were so off that we never got a chance to hang out with them. But I would love to chat with them about the song. It's cool that we both did a version of it.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to chat with them. I think it'd be really cool. Yeah. We should go and do like a split song with them. That'd be sick.
That would be amazing, and I would love that so much.
Cartoon Network needs to hit us up. Let's do it.
Yeah,
We're gonna make it happen. We're making it happen.
yeah, that'd be great. And, have you slash would you ever play your version of What's New live?
That's a great question. I think if enough people wanted to hear it, I think me and Danny could make that happen. Yeah. I know that my 3-year-old would probably fucking love if I played that song. So, um, we might have to do it here soon.
Definitely. Do you still play You and I live at all?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we still play that song. We still try to play like a good mixture of like our old stuff and our new stuff, even though, we've been a band for like 17 years. So it's hard, really hard for us to make set lists that can reach out to everybody and get every song that everybody wants to hear because we only have a certain amount of time. So we struggle with that every time we play a show is putting in old stuff with new stuff. But we definitely you and I is still part of the lineup. So
How did you see your fan base kinda grow and change after working on Scooby?
it's funny because we never really had any younger kids come to our shows, but after the Scooby Doo thing, we had like I'm talking like toddlers, like 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds coming to our shows, and I think that kinda threw us off a little bit because we're a Phoenix rock band, that was out of high school, like, we're kind of just kids that were kind of rough around the edges, so it was cool and also a little bit weird for us to see, little kids coming to our shows, but we loved it. I personally enjoyed seeing, kids light up singing "You and I." think that's great. I love the fact that kids like that song, so it was definitely a shock and definitely a little bit weird for us, but it just took a little bit of adjustment, and we figured it out. So
And what was it like to have people come up to you and say, they found out about your band through Scooby Doo?
happens a lot, and I'm more than grateful because honestly, the more people that hear our band, the better through Scooby Doo. I'm still shocked that people still to this day say they found us through Scooby Doo. It still blows my mind. Scooby Doo is such a staple in my childhood, and I guess apparently everybody else's childhood too, that people are still watching it. Like I said, my 3-year-old still watches Scooby Doo, so I am just honored to be a part of it. Honestly, I'm so honored. And if I could do anything more for Scooby Doo, I would.
And so what was filming the You and I music video like? What was the process like?
So, basically, we just, we showed up on a day off on our tour. We showed up. It was just the 5 of us. I think in the video, oh no, there's 4 of us. We had a girl bass player before that we just got rid of her on that tour. So she had left the band, and I took over the bass. So I was still pretty new to the bass, but um, it was cool. Like I said, that there was a lot of people there, a lot of makeup. We had to go through a whole makeup process. I mean, after the makeup, they had like all these different scenes around the warehouse set up for us, and they'd be like, "Okay, Slade, you're up." And then I'd go up, and they freshen me up with some makeup, and then they'd put me in my costume, and then I'd go, and then they'd call somebody else up after I was finished. Then they had like the whole band scene at the very end where they make gave us all makeup and put us all in these cool costumes, and press play, and we kinda just did the performance shots, and then we finished it, but it was kind of an all-day thing. It took literally from the morning to the night. It was an all-day thing.
And where did the idea come from to have it be Scooby Doo-esque? Was that from people involved with the movie?
Yeah, I think Cartoon Network, they already had the treatment written up for us, and we just kinda were like, "You know what? Whatever you guys wanna do, we'll do." So, we signed on to their contract. It wasn't us that wrote the contract. They had somebody else kinda go through and do it. So,
Okay.
yeah, it was a more of a Cartoon Network side of things.
Near the end of the video, you guys are playing while wearing like the ghost costumes. And
Yeah, yeah.
were you wearing them for the other shots that the ghosts are present too?
Um, Gosh, it's been so long. So I think the main point of the video is we are the ghost the whole time, I think, or like one of us is the ghost, and we're just kind of playing a joke on Scooby. So um, we are the ghost the whole time, are the monsters, and then at the very end, it kind of reveals us as the monsters. So I think there's like little hints in the video that kind of shoot that yeah, we are the monsters in the whole thing. But yeah,
And so there's 2 versions of the video. There's one on the bonus features of the movie, and I think that's the one that would have aired on Cartoon Network with,
yeah,
like, shots from the movie actually interspersed in.
yes, 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 yes.
Did you actually see that on Cartoon Network at all?
I think I might have seen that a couple times on Cartoon Network, like I said. I didn't have any kids at the time, and I was, like, traveling all the time because of the band, so I wasn't watching a lot of TV, but I would get a lot of texts that were like, "We're watching you on Cartoon Network right now," and I would just be like, "Wow, this is nuts," This is crazy.
What was it like to have people texting you that?
It was it was honestly really, really cool, I mean, even though it's a child like, I watched Cartoon Network growing up, I felt like we finally accomplished something that was, that our parents would be proud of, That was, like, our first staple in the music industry for Ann Arbor to, like, actually show what we've got. And for a while, we were, like, the Cartoon Network band or, like, the Scooby Doo band, but obviously that kinda faded off because we have so many more songs, So, we didn't mind it. We took every grain and we ran with it. We loved it.
Was there ever any, like, negative impact from, like, hardcore rock fans who were like, "Oh, you're the Scooby Doo band"?
Of course. We had people like, "You guys sold out," and it was like, how can we sell out when we haven't even we have, like, no listeners, we have no followers, like, if anything, Scooby-Doo completely helped this band get to where we are now, and it still is helping us every day by everybody that watches it, so, we got a little bit of negative feedback that was like, "You guys are now the Scooby-Doo band," and it was like, "Yeah, but is that a bad thing?" Like, we still have other songs, we still have great songs, so we didn't let that really get to us, and we just kinda kept going, and obviously, it's just kind of a staple in our history, that we've done. It's just a cool thing that we've been a part of, that we've been able to be a part of, so
Definitely. And although your songs were used in a live action movie, if the chance arose, would you wanna be animated into an episode of Scooby Doo?
Oh my god, that'd be so awesome. That would be so sick. Like I said, we watched the What's New Scooby Doo with Simple Plan, and they have an episode where Simple Plan's actually in it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that'd be so sick if they did us. That'd be so epic." So yes, please hook us up. That would be amazing. Love to be a cartoon.
What would you want the plot line to
Oh
be like?
man. Oh man. Oh god, I haven't even thought about this. Gosh, it'd have to be like a haunted, like I don't know. I like haunted houses, so maybe like a haunted house, but it'd have to be more than that. Like, see, you're getting me on the spot here. This is crazy. I've never even thought about that. I love the idea though. Now I gotta think about that.
Definitely.
Great
Gotta
question.
write and pitch one.
Yeah, that's a great question. Great question.
And so, moving a bit more broadly here, why do you think that a cartoon series about a talking dog solving mysteries has been able to stay popular throughout various incarnations for over 50 years now?
I think it's just so relatable. I think everybody can relate to Scooby Doo because it's just like it's a hungry dog. I feel like everybody's it's like a stoner series, you know, they might be hungry or whatever, but they kind of solve mysteries and it's kind of scary, keeps you on your toes. You know, it's just like a classic cartoon that just never faded. And you can always just keep writing scary stories, you know, there's like no end to that. So you put a gang of kids in it with a dog, like that's just it's just perfect, you know, it's just a perfect storm. I love it. I feel like it'll never die. I hope it never dies. Gosh, I love Scooby Doo.
I wanted to chat a little bit more about Ann Arbor because you guys haven't released music in a couple years. So, how does it feel to have your new single out?
Oh my gosh, feels great. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's been a couple years. Me and Danny have been working. We kind of put the band off for a year, just kind of recoup with ourselves. And you know, there's a lot going on with just personal stuff, and we let that happen. Then we came back and you know, kind of recouped ourselves and getting ready for this new release. We have new management, so everything's going really good. You know, we just kind of take it one step at a time. We don't have a record label. It's all released by ourselves. So um, it's all a learning process, you know, honestly. It's like I'm the boss of my own company and it's all a learning curve and it's all really interesting. I'm learning a lot. It's great. I couldn't be happier.
So, I read that you guys are going to be releasing songs one at a time from the EP. Is that true?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, correct. So they're gonna be spread out between like 6 to 7 weeks. Um, and then the whole EP will be out by July. So
Okay. And why did you guys decide to release it that way?
since it's only 3 songs, we just wanted to get the maximum exposure to each song. So we want to make sure that everybody's got, you know, whether a couple weeks or 2, you know, we didn't wanna release them too soon, we wanted to take up your summer, so put that song on repeat until the next song comes out, and by the end of the summer, everything should be out, and we're going in to record a record July 27th, so, um, yeah, we're on to the next move already, so everything should be out by 2021, we're really excited.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, it's been a minute, so it's like we're super pumped, it's really exciting.
What can fans expect from the rest of the songs on Tangerine?
So we're keeping it upbeat with this. We're not doing anything too crazy. We're keeping it basically it's just me and Danny that wrote these two, me, Danny, and Matt. So we're just trying to keep it simple. Nothing crazy, nothing, you know, out of the realm of Ann Arbor. Basically just good pop rock for now until the record comes. You guys will get a little bit more of a little bit more experimental stuff, but the EP is real nice, easy pop, you know, nothing too crazy.
And what's your personal favorite on the EP?
My favorite is the last song, "Tasty." I love "Tasty." It's one of my favorites, yeah, and that'll be the last song released. So we released "Find a Way," next we're releasing "Tangerine," and then the 3rd song is gonna be "Tasty." So,
Okay.
very excited, yeah.
Moving a bit larger here, what's your favorite Ann Arbor song of all time?
Oh, man. Um, let's see, can I give you 2? So I have 2. I love an old one called, "Always Dirty, Never Clean,"
Okay.
because that's just, like, the roots of the band, you know, we've always been kind of punk rock, even though we may not the music may not be super punk rock. We've just kind of been kind of kids, just kind of do what we want, you know. And when the record industry came about and took us seriously, it was hard for us to take them seriously as kids, you know. So we were just writing music that was like about not conforming, not wearing, you know, these like deep V-necks and neon clothes, you know, just like kind of being yourself. I think was the main part of the band. So I just want to make sure that we spread that throughout the the music and what we got coming out. Just keep that vibe, you know. Just be yourself. Don't let anybody tell you what to do.
And what was the second song?
The second song is, I would say "Take My Pain Away," just because it's about being away from, the people that you love the most, and when you're on tour for a certain amount of time, it's hard to keep relationships, alive when you're gone for so long, even when it comes to family, and of course, when it comes to maybe a girlfriend or a boyfriend, it's just hard being away for a long period of time. So that song is just kind of like how we really felt when it came. Like we were on tour for so long, so we wrote that song. We were on the road, and it just like really hits home whenever I listen to it.
I love Take My Pain Away too.
Oh, thank you. I love that. Right on.
And so a bit of a weird question here. I was on your Instagram, and can you just tell me a little bit more about the tortoises?
Oh yeah, so I have four tortoises, me and my girl. They're sulcata tortoises, and basically, yeah, we just spoil the crap out of them. They're super interesting. They're like little dinosaurs that you have in like 2020, and they're very friendly. They love water. They love to eat grass. We love to give them fruit. But I started that whole Instagram for them because I feel like I don't know, I feel like they need to get more exposure, People love watching. At least I love watching them eat, so I feel like maybe people would too.
Definitely. That is awesome.
They're super cool, and yeah, we had that photo shoot, and I was like, "Let's just get them involved," so we did.
That is so perfect.
Yeah, it actually worked out really, really well.
Awesome. And I think just before we end, do you have any recent projects besides the EP and, the upcoming album that you want to promote?
I mean, right now I'm basically focused on Ann Arbor. We're getting ready to suit up for this new record, so keep a lookout for the new Ann Arbor stuff. I always am doing music though, so if you go to my personal profile, I have a YouTube series that I did with Rudy. I have another band that's called Wolfpack that I've been in, and we just have music coming out all the time. But right now, Ann Arbor's got new music, so I'm focused on them. We have a new record coming out by the end of 2020, and a new EP out by July. So just keep a lookout on streaming, on our Instagram, on our Facebook, and all that cool stuff. And if you like Ann Arbor, then we'll get new music. So
And what are your social media channels? What are they called where people can, find a way to get in
yeah,
touch with you? That was so
yeah,
cheesy. I'm
right
sorry.
on. Yeah, no, I love it. Yeah, so if you can find a way to find us, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, just search Ann Arbor. If it's not Ann Arbor, it's either Ann Arbor or Ann Arbor Band. You can find us anywhere. We're on all platforms, including TikTok, which we need more followers on. So if you have a TikTok, go follow us. We're also on Twitch. We do live streams every Thursday, where we play live songs, answer any questions, and mostly the people that tune in on Thursdays get a little extra, love just because we play them new music and we play the EP for people. So if you're bored, come jump on our live streams on Thursday and hang out with us. But yeah, besides that, listen to Ann Arbor and stream us. We love you forever. It's great.
Perfect. I think that covers all the questions that I had. Is there anything else that you wanted to chat about at all? Whether it's something that I didn't ask you about Scooby or anything Ann Arbor related?
No, I think you nailed it. I mean, do you like love Scooby Doo? Is this like your thing? Because I'm all about it. I love it. I support it 100%.
Yeah, no,
That's
I
great.
have loved Scooby Doo forever.
Well, super cool. Right on, Alexa. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
And that concludes today's episode. Another huge thank you to Slade Echeverria for being on the show. It was a pleasure. For more groovy content, be sure to check out Unmasked SD on Twitter, at Unmasked SD Podcast on Instagram, or at unmaskedsdpodcast.com. If you like this episode and want to hear more, also make sure to check those social media channels or the website. Or you can listen to older episodes wherever you like to get your podcast fix. And if you want to follow Slade or Ann Arbor, you can check them out on pretty much every social media channel under Ann Arbor or Ann Arbor Band. Also, if you're a Scooby fan but haven't checked out Ann Arbor yet, especially if you like their songs in Scooby Doo The Mystery Begins, I highly recommend listening to their new single, Find a Way. Thanks for listening, and keep an ear out for the next episode. Scooby Dooby Doo!